For more on this story, let's bring in Doug Herbert, our international affairs editor. Good to have you, Doug.
How are you, Camille?
What's the significance of these massive strikes on Kyiv and the rest of the country while these negotiations enter this critical phase? Is this Russia's way of saying it's got the upper hand?
Not just that it has the upper hand, but that it has absolutely no intention of letting anyone dictate when it will sign any eventual peace agreement. We have these two narratives going on right now. Essentially, we're talking about all these upcoming talks this weekend in the United States. But the fact of the matter is, and Zelensky has said this in blunt terms, in explicit terms, he says the ballistic missiles, of which there are about several dozen in this latest overnight barrage, and the Shahed drones, they speak for Russia. Russia can talk endlessly about how it earnestly is in search of peace, how it wants an end to this war. But the fact of the matter is, and this is what the Ukrainians continually reiterate from the high levels all the way on down to the street level, they basically said Russia goes through the motions of pretending that it's interested in peace, that it is interested in bringing this war to an end, when in fact the facts on the ground, at sea, and in the air speak for themselves, and that is that no, Russia is not interested in ending this war, at least not so long as its demands, and I keep using the word maximalist demands, because that's exactly what they are. No concessions and nothing short of what Russia says it absolutely needs in order to get from where we are now to the prospect of a ceasefire and a peace agreement. So the foreign minister basically has said overnight that Russia is showing how, that it's not interested in peace, that these brutal attacks speak for themselves. Zelensky is saying that, and we're having it right down the line. I will just note that Russia itself on Friday accused the EU, the Europeans, and the U.S. essentially, people in segments of the U.S. of trying to torpedo any efforts to really broker an end to this war. And that statement speaks for itself, because it shows that the Russians consider any of these talks that do not include its maximalist demands as going nowhere.
Zelensky's stopping over in Canada before heading off to Mar-a-Lago, and he'll be speaking to European leaders via video link there.
Yep.
What's the significance of this? Is this a case of him getting advice from them like he maybe has in the past, or is it more about coordination?
Yeah, so let's unwrap it. Two questions in there. The significance of it is it about getting advice? Yes, it is. He's seeking advice. The Europeans have been in what's called this coalition of the willing. They have bent over backwards, literally coming to show Zelensky that they have his back, that they are there to support him, that they will, quote, proverbially stand with him as long as it takes. But is it a nothing burger in geopolitical terms? Meaning, does it really mean anything? He will be on the phone. Yeah, he's meeting with Carney, the prime minister. They will be in a video call with leaders from France and Germany and Italy and the UK. Poland's prime minister, Donald Tusk, also he put up on social media that he will be joining that call as well. And yeah, it will be lending moral support. It will be once again trying to perhaps sort of tag team effort among the European allies of Ukraine to give Zelensky sort of, best practice tips on how to deal with Donald Trump, who, as we know, is not always very easy to deal with, and Zelensky has seen firsthand what happens when you rub Donald Trump the wrong way, very publicly and very humiliatingly. So they're going to try to avoid that. But like I said, going back to the very essence of your question, the significance of it, the significance is that, yes, symbolically it shows the Europeans are really scrambling to have a say, to show they support Ukraine. Will it make any difference when they meet with Trump? Not really. So it will be interesting. Trump has said, ahead of his meeting with Zelensky, let's see what he's got, basically, because unless I approve it, he's got nothing. So this goes back, it's an echo of that comment Trump had made to Zelensky in that meeting back in February, the chewing down, when he basically said, you have no cards. And Zelensky really tried to hold his own, but it was a very tough meeting. So going into this, Trump is still playing one side against the other and really putting the pressure on Zelensky to show that he has something to offer that Trump can accept.
Doug Herbert, thank you so much for your analysis, and we'll be unpacking that meeting tomorrow, of course.